Well, thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, and I'm very pleased to have the opportunity to participate in this debate on Bill C-15. I want to focus my remarks today on the provision that introduces the new Canada Child Benefit. This legislation is about building a more caring and compassionate society, and it's about giving all Canadian families a chance to build a better life for themselves and their children. The new Canada Child Benefit was one of our most important campaign commitments. I'm very proud that we're now turning that promise into reality. What this bill will do is put real money into the pockets of Canadians, Canadian families who need and deserve our support to raise their children. Mr. Speaker, as a single mother myself who raised 2 boys, I know the difficult financial realities of raising a family alone. When I was first separated from the father of my 2 children, who were then under 6 years old, my gross salary was $35,000 per year, and I also received about $6,000 annually from child support. I was fortunate to have what many other parents that are in this situation don't: a stable job, access to benefits, and the ability to borrow money. So as a result, my boys were fed well, had access to medication when necessary, and were able to take part in limited activities with support from ProKids, a not-for-profit organization initiated in Thunder Bay that offers non-judgmental support for low-income parents to ensure their children can participate in an extracurricular activity that is otherwise out of reach. But, Mr. Speaker, it was still very difficult to make ends meet, and I often turned to credit to pay for the extras that I saw as essential investments in my boys' development. Many families do not have the ability to pay for childcare or to give their children opportunities to learn or grow. Had the Canada Child Benefit been in place when I was in those early, difficult years, I would have received an extra $11,300 tax-free per year, meaning more opportunities for my children and the ability to live without the crippling anxiety of carrying a high debt load. In fact, I may have been able to save a bit for their education, something that is far out of reach for many low-income families. Mr. Speaker, we know that our communities are better when they are stronger, safer, and more inclusive. We want people to have the ability to raise happy and healthy families, and the Canada Child Benefit will allow many more families to do just that. 9 out of 10 families will receive more money every month with the new benefit that they receive now. And the ones who will be receiving less are those fortunate families who are on the higher end of the income scale. Families earning less than $30,000 per year will receive the maximum benefit, and the maximum benefit is substantial. It's $6,400 per year for each child under 6 and up to $5,400 per year for each child ages 6 to 17. It replaces the Canada Child Tax Benefit and the Universal Child Care Benefit. The payment is tax-free. Parents do not have to report it on their tax returns as part of their income, and it is much more generous. Families benefiting will see an average increase in benefits of almost $2,300 in the 2016-17 benefit year. It's also a much simpler system. One payment each and every month starting in July this year, just a few weeks from now. We've also eliminated the Children's Art Tax Credit and the Child Fitness Tax Credit. These tax credits only benefit those higher income families who can afford to spend the money on extracurricular activities for their children. Lower income families often can't and don't benefit from those tax credits. In fact, Mr. Speaker, my family was one that was not able to use those credits to their fullest potential simply because I just didn't have the money to pay for the activities up front. Now, with the introduction of the Canada Child Benefit, low and middle income families will have the extra income they need to allow their children to participate in these and many other activities, or use it for whatever needs best suits their family. That could include childcare, nutritious food, or even medication that may not be covered by any health plan. And the best news is that the new Canada Child Benefit will lift upwards of 300,000 children out of poverty by 2017. We also recognize that it costs more to care for a child with a severe disability. That's why we'll continue to pay an additional $2,730 per year over and above the regular child tax benefit for every child eligible for the disability tax credit. I can tell you that this government also understands that struggle. We understand that low and middle income families in particular need to be the focus of much of our effort in government. We want to lift as many people as possible into the middle class. At the same time, we want to continue to strengthen the middle class itself, and that's why the Minister of Finance introduced the middle class tax cut. It lowers taxes for low and middle income Canadians and asks the very wealthy to pay a bit more. It's a basic question of fairness and allowing every individual to live up to their full potential. It is also very good economics. Good social policy is good fiscal policy. A strong middle class means a strong economy. The new Canada Child Benefit is also about inclusion. It's about bringing people into the mainstream, helping take people out of poverty, giving them hope for the future, and providing the supportive tools that they need to help them build a better life. As the Minister of Status of Women, I know that a disproportionate number of low-income households are headed by women. And I know that many of these working women face particular challenges in raising their families. The harsh reality is that women are still not treated as full equals in the workplace. On average, they're still paid less than men. An even harsher truth is that women are much more likely to be the victims of domestic and sexual violence than men. So needless to say, we have a lot more work to do. We cannot accept the status quo. We need to focus on finding answers and putting the solutions in place, just as we're doing with the new Canada Child Benefit. How can we accept that women should be paid less than men for work of the same value? How can we accept that women are disproportionately the victims of violence? How can we accept that children in low and middle-income families should be deprived of basic food, shelter and clothing just because their parents aren't rich enough? With the new Canada Child Benefit, we're taking the kind of direct action that will make a positive change in the lives of hundreds of thousands of families across this country, this year, next year, and for many years to come. And, Mr. Speaker, that is something that we should all be proud of. In my career before politics, I worked with many individuals, women and men, who face severe challenges such as substance use, poverty, homelessness, violence, and mental health issues. In fact, Mr. Speaker, it was the desire to make systemic change through good policy that drove me to seek election. I knew that by ensuring that people struggling to join the middle class had the support to do so, that we could see long-lasting change for citizens and communities for generations to come. When we ensure that those that need a hand up to get the support they need, the result is healthier children, families, and ultimately a stronger Canada. Mr. Speaker, when parents who are struggling to raise healthy children have an economic boost, it creates a healthier future for all of us. Indeed, good social policy is good fiscal policy because when children are supported to succeed, they do better in school and avoid many problems that result from inequality. The new Canada Child Benefit provides non-judgmental financial support, and it will help give many thousands of individuals the support they need to thrive. Children who have enough to eat, can take part in community activities and have a safe place to live, have a much better chance at success in school and therefore in society at large. We want every child in Canada to grow up healthy and strong and contribute their talents and their skills to making our society even more inclusive and stronger. I believe, as the Prime Minister has said, in Canada, better is always possible, and it is. The Canada Child Benefit will make our country a much better place for tens, if not hundreds of thousands of families and children. I sincerely hope that all of us in this House will give this legislation the enthusiastic support that I truly believe it deserves. It's time to give families hope for a better future, and it's time to let Canadian children know that we're committed to helping them succeed. Mr. Speaker, I was fortunate as a single parent to be able to increasingly earn more, leading to more possibilities for my boys as I gained the capacity to ensure their success through full participation and access to post-secondary education. And now they're both doing very well with very optimistic futures. I have no doubt they will contribute to their communities and country in meaningful ways, and I want the same opportunities for all children across Canada. I want all Canadian children to have an equal footing to reach their potential. It's time to invest in our future through making sure that all Canadian children are supported to thrive. In fact, this investment is one that will pay dividends for generations to come. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Questions and comments. The honourable member for Saskatoon.